these four have put out some incredible examples, like really some of the pinnacles that anime has to offer. But I will say, and this is like no offense to any of y'all are so seasoned that that list isn't super like newbie friendly when it comes to things they've seen or be familiar with. So I'm gonna stick on some real entry level stuff, like stuff that I remember watching back in the day or still watching now that I think is super easy to get into. And it's not that the stuff that y'all listed isn't. It's just that a lot of it is pretty critically true anime, and like it is incredible stuff. But it's not the stuff that you see people tweeting about as much or giving anything like that. So I'm gonna give like 3 or 4 recommendations on some pretty like hip ones, I guess I would say, like trendy ones. Or like I guess just slightly more
right? You gotta chill out.
More modern. Yeah, no. I'm gonna offer the casual perspective. That's the way I'll put it.
Okay.
Y'all suggested it like diamond rank competitive players. Like these are the best. This is the meta, right?
Oh no, bro! You better put respect on my name. That's Grandmaster.
Yeah, my fault.
He said Apex Predator.
My fault. But basically,
Mr.
y'all
Grandmaster.
came and said this is the meta. This is the most refined. This is as good as it gets. And for a lot of dudes, you say you're starting the game out. That's a little intimidating. So I'm gonna give them an easy list.
Very true.
So my personal favorite that has reigned with me since I watched it, and it's one of the people like cite a set of like normally like big 3 or any kind of smaller number of like the large animes. This technically on some people's list counts. Depends who you ask. But my personal favorite is Hunter x Hunter. It has, and I will speak as a guy who loves Hunter x Hunter. It has a reputation for people who like it too much. So enjoy the show, but I think it's a very solid show, good storytelling. Unfortunately, I will add this caveat for anyone who doesn't know about it and might want to watch anime based on this list. If you do start it, it's on hiatus, and that means it is unfinished currently, and the creator has not given any specifications other than the fact that he desires to finish it. So if you get invested into it, understand that you are quite literally walking off the edge of a cliff. Like there is a limit to the content that you can absorb.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But in terms of like overall show content, it was, I think, the second or third anime I ever watched. And it was just a great example of, in my opinion, some pretty good storytelling, some really nice animation, some really nice fight scenes, and overall it's just a fun show. It's just a good one to watch. Changes tone very drastically, so when you start it, don't make harsh judgments, just power through it. And there's one arc that lasts like literally like 55 to 60 episodes, and when you get there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're just gonna have to suffer. But it's pretty user friendly. Yeah, it's good, and I mean it's pretty user friendly. It's one of those animes that honestly, if you watch, I don't recommend you watch the dub of that show because it sounds like a bunch of children screaming. But if you do, you probably wouldn't notice that it was an anime, if that makes sense. It's got extremely, like, I would say easily adaptable art style. It doesn't look super animated other than the hairstyles. So I would say it's pretty entry level, pretty casual. It's a good show though. I really enjoyed it. For my number 2, I guess I can't really go an objective favorite here, or I think is objectively the best. But I can recommend. It's not as entry level, but it was trending quite a bit a little while ago, so there's a good amount of discussion of it online, and it's very short, so it's at least the stuff that's out right now is pretty short, so it's easy to digest, and that'd be Vinland Saga. Once again, not crazy like into anime tropes. It's a great example of just anime being adapted to a great story, and it's not going to drown you in tropes or drown you in what you think anime should be. So I would recommend that as if you just want just excellent narrative, easily digestible, quick to get through. Like you're not going to be, because Hunter x Hunter is 145 episodes or however many, and Vinland Saga, how many is Vinland Saga? I can't remember. It's like
20.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I think 24.
Vinland
It's
Saga
not bad
has
at all.
potential to be the
I thought,
modern day Berserk.
is it not 26?
Correct. It's
I think
something right
it's
there. I can't
24.
remember.
It's only two normal seasons, I think.
Yeah.
So it's super easy to digest. You could bang that out in a week pretty easily, and it's just a really enjoyable show. I mean, it's super good. Like there's just very little to fault with it. So I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, man, Thor.
Yeah. And then I would say if I had to throw a third one on that list, because those two are pretty like combat heavy, and like there's obviously other stuff in it, but they're similar, I guess, in scope of what they cover. Mentioned it earlier when I was talking about another show, but I'll add this one. It's not as user friendly as the other two in terms of like an anime. There are more tropes. There are more things that a seasoned anime viewer would see and go, okay, yeah, I get it, whatever. That you might see and go, that's a little odd. But I mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it again. It's ReZero, and the reason I bring ReZero up is because it's one of my favorite examples of storytelling in anime. Not because it outshines all of the others, but because it has a very unique concept, and the way that they use that concept is extremely well fleshed out.
You hear that?
Yes. Yes, dude. It's
some crazy stuff gonna go down.
It's how do I describe this? I'm not gonna spoil absolutely anything about the show, but there's a very basic mechanic that structures the entire show, and I mean it's extremely simple. The thing is that you as the viewer, as the watcher, it's made available and aware to you at the same time as all of the characters, and it gives you a really plugged in feel. It's very difficult to watch that show and not question what's happening and try to figure things out. And like you guys were saying earlier, like Perfect Blue's great example, that's a narrative masterpiece. I would say that this is just a easier to digest TV show style binge of a similar style of storytelling. It's something that you, if you watch, will watch with kind of a, but like, how do you get out of this? How does one solve this problem? How is this feasible? And the main reason that I like it is because, and this is a point I will stress immensely, that show has zero plot armor in the best way possible. Everybody is up for grabs. It don't matter your name. It don't matter how important to the story you think you are. Everyone in that show is up for grabs. And it's a very good example of just some good narratives. I said it earlier. Some of the character design, you might, if you watch it, you might be looking at my avatar like, Jack,
Just some
you were hating on this.
Just some maids cleaning
Trust.
things.
Yeah.